Hey everyone, today I will show you how to make an authentic Vietnamese pho. It's a Vietnamese delicacy. It's a very popular dish. It's very savory that you should try if you go to a Vietnamese restaurant or visit Vietnam. So a lot of people said this is a complicated process and need a lot of effort and time, but I don't believe so. If you have a concise recipe, a clear instruction on how to do that, and I will show you in a little bit. To make this easier for you to follow, I have divided my content into three sections. So first, we would prep the ingredient. Secondly, prepare the broth. And last but not least, let's assemble a nice bowl. In terms of ingredient, for the broth, you would need 2 yellow onions, 4 ounces gingers, 5-6 pounds beef soup bones, but just pick mainly marrows and knuckle bone for the broth to be sweeter. 5-star anise, coriander seed, cardamom, 6 whole cloves, 1 cinnamon stick, 1 1/3 pound piece of beef chuck, rum, brisket, crushed rib roast, any choice that you want, and cut into 2 by 4 inch pieces. 1½ tablespoon fine sea salt, 4 tablespoon fish sauce, and 1 ounce of yellow rock sugar. For the bowl, you would need 2 pounds small, dry, or fresh pho noodle that you can get at any Asian store or Vietnamese store. ½ pound raw ayam brown, sirloin, London broiled, or tri-tip steak, thinly sliced across the grain. 1 medium yellow onion, sliced paper thin, and let it soak for 30 minutes in a bowl of cold waters. 3 or 4 scallions, 1/3 chopped cilantro, ground black peppers. And for the optional garnishes, you can have spearmint and Thai basil, cilantro, bean sprout, and lime wedges. So now next to the important step, let's get to make the pho broth. First, you would have to charge the onion and gingers by using an open flame on grill, or you can actually do it directly, like on a pan over your stove. Place it there and cook for about 15 minutes until they soften and become sweetly fragrant. Then use tongue to occasionally rotate them into like prep the discard and fly away onion skin. You do not have to blacken the entire surface though, but just enough to slightly cook onions and gingers. After that, let them cool under warm waters. Remove charred onion skin and trim and discard blackened part of onions and gingers, and then set them aside. After that, just the same with onion and ginger, you would have to toast the spice, in which there's cinnamon, anise, coriander seeds, cardamom, and clove. You would have to toast it over a fire for about 10 to 15 minutes, I believe, for it to become fragrant, and then set it aside along with onions and ginger. Next, we would have to parboil the bones by placing bones in stock pot. I believe that the minimum of 12 quart capacity would be enough for this, and then cover the bones with cold waters. Over high heat, bring it to a boil and keep boiling vigorously 2 to 3 minutes to allow the impurity from the bone to be released. Then dump the bone and all the water into like a colander and rinse the bone with warm water. And then put it back into the pot. To simmer the broth, you would have to add 6 quart water to the pot and bring to boil over high heat. Then gradually lower the flame to gently simmer. You can use ladle to skim any scrum that rises to the surface. Making that will make your broth clear and look, yeah, it make your broth look clear after. And then add the remaining broth ingredient, such as onion, ginger that we charged at the beginning, or the toasted spice. Cook it uncovers for 1.5 hours. In this meat, we aiming for the boneless meat to be slightly chewy. but not tough because we don't want it tough. And then when it's cooked to your liking, you can remove it and place in a bowl of cold water for 10 minutes. This will prevent the meat from drying out and turning dark at its core. Then drain the meat and allow the broth to continue cooking. So this is how the broth should look after you take all the spice and meat out. It should have this brownish color, very clear. Yeah, allow broth to continue cooking and the broth should simmer for a total of 3 hours. You can strain the pho broth through a fine strainer to make sure like there's no residue or any solid. And use ladle to skim as much fat from the top of the pho broth that you like. After that, when it's gonna boil and shimmer, just taste and adjust flavor with additional salt, and yellow rock sugar. I think pho broth should taste slightly too strong because the noodle and all the ingredients are not salted. So if it tastes a little stronger than you would normally eat it, it will be fine. And last, let's assemble the pho bowl. The key here is to organize and have everything ready to go. Thin slice cooked meat for the best results. That would be perfect. To ensure good timing, you reheat the broth over medium flame and you assembling the bowl. If you use dry noodles, cover with hot water and soak 15 to 20 minutes until softened and turn into an opaque white color. Then drain it in a colander. But for fresh dry noodle, you just untangle and briefly rinse in the colander with cold water. After that, you will have to blanch the noodles by filling 3 or 4 quart saucepan with water and bring it to a boil. As soon as the noodle have collapsed and lost its stiffness, that will about like 15-20 seconds. Pull the strainer from the water and letting the water drain back into the saucepan. Then just take the colander and get all the noodle out and put it back into your bowl. The noodle should occupy about 1/4 or 1/3 of the bowl. Yeah. If desired after blanching the noodle, you can blanch the bean sprout too for 30 seconds in the same saucepan. They should slightly wilted but retain some scrunch, added a little texture to your pho. Drain and add it into the garnish plate. For other ingredient, place slices of cooked meat, could be raw steak, and tendon atop the noodle. If your cooked meat was at a room temperature when you took it out before from the broth that we make, you can blanch slices for a few seconds in hot waters from the broth, and then garnish with onions, scallion, and chopped cilantro. And you can finish it with black pepper if you're a black pepper person, and you can put some chopped chili on it too. And that's it, our perfect pho bowl. I hope you guys enjoy it.